Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by lush green hills, there lived a young man named Hiro. Hiro was known across the village, but not for reasons that inspired respect. He was infamous for his laziness. While the roosters crowed at dawn and the villagers hurried to tend their fields or start their crafts, Hiro remained buried under his blanket, lost in dreams. He walked long after the sun was high and spent his afternoons wandering aimlessly, bemoaning his bad luck. His house was shabby, his fields overgrown with weeds, and his friends had grown tired of his excuses. Tomorrow, Hero would say, tomorrow I'll wake up early and start working. But tomorrow never came. Hero's elderly mother, who worried deeply about her son, finally confronted him one evening. Hero, she said, her voice heavy with concern. Your life is wasting away. You have become a shadow of your potential. If you don't change, you'll have nothing left. Go to the Sun Master atop of the mountain. He's helped many find their way. Perhaps she can help you too. The idea of climbing the steep mountain to meet some old man seemed like an enormous effort. Mother, he muttered, what can an old monk tell me that I don't already know? But when he saw the tears glistening in her eyes, he reluctantly agreed. The next morning, Hiro dragged himself out of bed, later than planned, and began the long trek up the mountain. The path was steep and the sun was hot. By the time he reached the top, he was drenched in sweat and grumbling under his breath. The Zen master was tending a small garden outside a humble hut. His hands moved gracefully, pulling weeds and watering flowers. When he saw Hiro, he smiled warmly. Master, Hiro began, panting. I've come because my life is a mess. I'm unlucky, unmotivated, and everything feels pointless. Can you help me? The master paused, studying Hiro with kind but piercing eyes. Then he disappeared into his hut and returned with a small golden bell. This, the master said, handing the bell to Hiro, is a gift that can change your life. It will ring each morning at sunrise. When you hear its sound, rise immediately and begin your day. That's all you must do. Hiro started at the bell, confused. That's it? Just wake up when the bell rings? The master smiled. That's it. Come back to me if you find this task too difficult. Hiro left the mountain feeling skeptical. Wake up early? How will that change anything? But he decided to try, if only to prove the master wrong. The first morning, as the golden bell rang softly with the fresh light of dawn, he was tired. The sound was gentle but persistent, like a whisper calling him to wake. He opened one eye, groaned and rolled over. 5 more minutes, he muttered, pulling the blanket over his head. The same thing happened the next morning and the morning after that. Each day, Hiro ignored the bell. sleeping until the sun was high. By the fourth day, he was furious. Grabbing the bell, he stormed back up the mountain. "Master," he shouted as he reached the hut, "this bell is useless. It rings every morning, but nothing has changed. My life is still the same mess it was before." The master chuckled softly, his eyes twinkling. "Ah, young man, the bell is doing its part. But are you doing yours?" Hiro frowned. "What do you mean?" "The bell is a reminder," the master explained. "Each time it rings, it offers you a chance to begin anew. But the choice to rise and take action is yours." The next morning, when the bell rang, Hiro forced himself to sit up. His body ached for more sleep, and his mind whispered, "Just a little longer." But he ignored it. He swung his legs over the side of the bed and stood. For the first time in years, Hiro watched the sun rise. The sky was a canvas of orange and pink, and the cool morning air was alive with bird song. Something stirred in Hiro's chest, an unfamiliar feeling of peace and possibility. The following day, he rose again, this time stepping outside to stretch and breathe in crisp morning air. He decided to clear the weeds choking his small field. It was a hard work, and by the end of the day, his muscles ached, but he felt a sense of accomplishment he hadn't known in years. Day by day, Hiro's routine grew. He rose with the bell, tended his fields, mended his home, and even began help his neighbors. Slowly, his crops flourished, and his once shabby house became a cozy heaven. Months later, Hiro climbed the mountain again, but this time with a spring in his step. When he reached the master's hut, he bowed deeply. "Master," he said, "I came to thank you. The bell truly changed my life." The master smiled. "Tell me, Hiro, how did it work?" "It wasn't the bell itself," Hiro admitted. "It was the act of rising with it. That small habit gave structure to my days. It taught me discipline, and it showed me how powerful small actions can be when done consistently." The master nodded. The bell was only a tool. The real change was within you all along. You simply needed a way to waken it. Hiro returned to the village, but he didn't keep the lesson to himself. He shared his story with others, encouraging them to find their own bell, a small but meaningful habit that could spark change. Over the years, Hiro became a pillar of the community, known not only for his hard work but for his wisdom. He often smiled when he heard the roosters crow at dawn, remembering the simple bell that had transformed his life. And so, the legacy of the bell continued, its chime ringing not only in Hiro's mornings but in the hearts of all who heard his story, a gentle reminder that even the smallest change made consistently can transform a life.